Good evening, I'm Karen Swenson. Katie and Charisse are off. Over the last 3 days, Louisiana has seen more than 700 new COVID cases each day. And today, the Department of Health is investigating new clusters in New Orleans and Baton Rouge, saying bars and house parties are to blame. Devin Bartolotta reports.
The Louisiana Department of Health says recent hotspots of coronavirus began where social distancing ended.
The suspicion is that perhaps some of these establishments were not operating in accordance with the parameters that the governor set out.
More than 100 young people who went to or worked at Tigerland bars in Baton Rouge last weekend have tested positive. Some of them are from New Orleans. And the New Orleans Health Department says a second cluster of cases stem from graduation parties involving several schools where few were wearing masks. At least 20 teenagers and young adults are sick.
It's not about these kids or young adults. It's about their contacts. It's about their parents. It's about their grandparents. And it's about their grocery clerk who they're going to come in contact with.
Good news, nursing homes have ramped up universal testing and may have turned a corner.
Defund the police! Defund the police!
And the state says despite a few positive cases, protests are not a major spreader of the virus. Health experts say that's because nearly everyone wears a mask and is outside.
I mean, people have to weigh the importance of expressing themselves and raising concerns about the health effects, the deadly effects of racism, and protection from COVID.
But indoors and without a mask, compliance is vital, the state says, or the reins on reopening could be pulled back.
So this is going to be a pivotal week or two for us. We're going to have to show that we can be responsible and not increase spread, or else phase 3, phase 4 are going to be more distant realities than we hope.
Devin Bartolotta, Eyewitness News.
And we are keeping a close eye on the COVID numbers. Remember, there were no results released yesterday. The state said today that more than 1,600 cases were actually duplicates or from out of state. So with those removed, these are the raw totals of new positive cases going back to June 9th. And if you look at the right of your screen, you're going to see the last 3 days show those totals of more than 700. We haven't seen 3 days in a row like that in a while.